It's smoking. Alright guys, if you missed the last video, we got this thing almost ready to rock and roll. I know it doesn't look like it, but that's because we had to take everything back apart for paint. Josh did an awesome job on the paint. Look at this thing. It is beautiful. So, what we need to do today, what we're going to do today is put this thing back together. We've got to get the bumper back on, the grill, the Nerf bars. We've got the entire interior that is gutted. We've got something special planned for the bed, so we can't put that slide out back in just yet. But there's still a lot of things to do, like the lights and all that good stuff. What we're also waiting on, what are we waiting on over here, Josh?
We're waiting on a lot of work.
We've got one more thing to get painted, but first that has to get smoothed down. That's the topper for the truck, before we can put the roof rack on that we built. We've got some headlights. We've got a bunch of goodies today, including a cucaracha horn.
Did you ever explain why this is the way it is?
Explain it to us.
So the gel coat, this blue down here, had a bunch of little cracks in it, and those little cracks hold water and dirt and stuff. And it was just the whole top. So the only way to get it off there was to sandblast it.
These little cracks were microscopic cracks, and I said it's not a big deal, but Josh...
It's a big deal.
Josh is a perfectionist
terrible.
when it comes to paint.
It would have looked terrible.
I don't know. Oh, that's one thing else that we needed to talk about. In the comments section, a lot of you guys think that we're building an off-road truck, and I can understand. We usually do build off-road vehicles on this channel. But that's not what this is. This thing is basically a classic car restoration. I don't know if the paint comes across in the video, but that is an immaculate paint job. This truck is immaculate. Everything on here is brand new. Look at Josh up there. It's going to be the cleanest 1991 truck you've ever seen, and it will never see an off-road trail. My dad doesn't do off-roading. He doesn't like off-roading. This is a classic car restoration.
It may never see rain.
Yeah, it may never see the outside of a garage again. But it's going to be pristine here in just a little bit. Let's get started. I don't know if I've shown you guys the color of the powder coat yet, but we have been storing them safely up here. Everything that we got powder coated, we had sandblasted first and then powder coated. It's hard to tell, but it is called a Cadillac gray, and it's got sparkle to it. It's a very dark gray, and we had everything powder coated, including the receiver hitch, this bull bar. These are the not fender flare, but the mud flap holders, license plate, cover, the rear bumper, the valence, the front bumper, even the skid plate. So pretty. What should I put on first? Looks kind of weird until that bumper goes over the top of it. So this is a brand new rear bumper. The other one wasn't worth saving. But it's been powder coated and it looks nice and clean, other than some dust. Josh, I think these bolts are powder coated closed. Okay, well that was fun. So what they did when they whoever designed this hitch, it goes in between where the bumper mounts. So since the hitch is a 1/4 inch wide, it leaves a 1/2 inch of play in there once you put it on. So you just take up that play by tightening the bolts, but that means that the bumper just kind of sits where it wants to sit. But I think we got it pretty straight, pretty square. In the camera, that looks black, but it's gunmetal gray.
Did you say Cadillac?
Cadillac gray.
Cadillac gray.
Cadillac gray. Looks like a Cadillac too, doesn't it?
Looks just like a Cadillac.
So we've got some those rubber pads that still need to go on here. And what's next? I think we should put some taillights in there and see what that's going to look like. Oh, you still have to sand this side, don't you?
Yeah, we can put one taillight in. You're going to wish we had got new taillights now.
Why?
Because they're not new and everything else on the truck's new.
We got new front lights, right?
And the rear one had a quarter in it, but at the time you said, don't worry about it, it'll be fine. But since then, we went a lot further with the truck than...
That always happens with our builds, though. We end up making it a lot nicer than we anticipated. What's wrong with the rear taillights, though?
They're 40 years old.
Is there cracks in them?
Yeah. A little bitty one on this side.
We'll check them out. I bet you the reason I didn't buy them, though, is because the aftermarket ones are probably junk. Let's see what you're talking about here. I think those look pretty clean. I think on the front ones...
Crack right there.
There's a little crack.
And a chip.
I think on the front ones you painted this edge, didn't you?
I did, but those are new lights, too.
Oh, because they were chrome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. We'll see once we get it on there. It's like 1,000 feet. Honk! Josh is over there cleaning the steering wheel. What I was trying to say is it's like a 1,000-piece puzzle, even maybe more so, trying to figure out where all these pieces go on this truck, especially these little pieces. And then a lot of the little clips broke, so I bought a bunch of those. Now I'm trying to figure out which clips go where. I did buy one of these from Harbor Freight. I've never had one of these. It's a little Christmas tree popper. Let's see if that makes things easier here. Well, I got it out, but it disappeared. I don't know where it went. Well, I got that piece out, but the other piece is
That's where it works nicest for the two-piece ones. Just the straight-up Christmas trees, it has a hard time with.
Let's see. Hey. Ooh. All right, one down, one day on this put back together project. So what did we get done, Josh? Last night I got one of the fender liners put in. That's harder than it seems. You got this put on, got the rear window in, a lot of the trim in, the gauge cluster, that was put in. The hood, fenders, starting to look like a truck again. These things dried out overnight under a fan, so those will be ready to go back in. And look how clean that interior is. Oh yeah, we got the receiver hitch and the bumper on. I need to take these out and go wash them. These are the inner fender liners for the rear. And then we've got a lot more going on today. The windshield should be coming very soon. Your turn.
My turn, huh? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do while Matt's out there braving the cold, he's going to run water in sub-freezing temperatures. I bet you it's frozen. I'm going to put these in. And they go in pretty easy. They just fit right over everything. And there's some Velcro, but other than that. All right, now that vinyl's back in, we were kind of waiting on that to get a lot of the interior stuff back in. So now the seats can go back in, the kick panels can go back in, the sill plates can go back in, a lot of the dash stuff can start going back on. Only thing we're gonna have to wait on is the seat belts, because we're getting new webbing put on them so that they look all nice and shiny and spiffy too.
Matt's Offroad called, and for the Matt's Offroad Wrecker Games, we have to make a little promo for their video of us getting ready for the Wrecker Games. So to do that, I made this little sign here. I think I'm gonna be the drill sergeant. Josh, will you be the private?
I will be the private.
All right, so let's show you what we've got in store for preparing for the Matt's Off-Road Games this year. You guys see anything wrong with that? Looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, it looks normal. You won't have to say your other right anymore.
Right, left. I said left. Can you not read, private? Winch in, winch out, winch in, winch out.
And this is what we call a breakover angle.
Josh, are you listening?
I'm watching Bad Rats. Leave me alone.
All right, that was fun. So hope you guys enjoyed that. We are going to be at the Record Games. Part of the Record Games process this year is to collaborate with a YouTuber that has never done off-road before, right? So we have to take them and train them how to do off-road, and we're going to go up 777s, but they have to drive. So somebody that's never driven off-road before has to drive the Scorpion Crawler up the 777s trail while me and Colt are directing. So that's going to be fun. So stay tuned for that. Now, back to the Toyota. One of the things I've been running across on this build, and it's becoming very apparent as we make things nicer, the things that aren't as nice that I thought wouldn't matter are really starting to show. So if you look up in here, these black pieces, the fender liners, are really nice. Before, you didn't even know that that was kind of dirty looking because it was really dirty. It was just all black. But now that we've got these fender liners in here and they're nice and clean, it almost makes that look dirty. But that's been pressure washed and as clean as it's going to get without painting. Another thing that I just noticed, before you wouldn't even notice that these mirrors were a little bit dingy because the rest of the truck had its issues. But now that everything is so pristine, these little tiny nicks are really showing in stuff like the mirrors. So I'll need to see, might see if they have some new ones, but I don't know if you guys can see that. But it's just little things like that really show up once you start getting every part of this truck completely revitalized and rejuvenated. The little things that aren't start to show up, and then you start having to replace things, make things nicer, paint things. It's a big process. I've never done a restoration before, and I don't think I'll ever do one again. How about you?
I've done quite a few of them.
Well, then why did you do this again?
It's been a while. I forgot.
Oh, did you get the bolts at the hardware store?
I did.
They had what we needed?
They did.
Maybe we can get the bumper on today. That would be cool. I've also got some cool headlights to show you guys here shortly. Alright, windshield has arrived. Problem that we are having is the black molding that goes around the windshield. They don't make it anymore. So we're going to try something different. Got some rubber molding, you say? Rubber molding to go in there. We're going to see what that looks like. Alright, so we have to get that cowl in there before the windshield can go in. But these pieces have to all get put in like a puzzle first. Alright, let me explain what's going on here. We've got to put the windshield in, but the cowl piece has to go in there first. The problem is, we are not using this, but this is what holds the cowl piece in. So, to try to fix that situation, we put these little bumpers on here, and hopefully the cowl will be able to ride on those. Alright, that's perfect. Only thing that needs to happen is this fender needs to be adjusted a little bit as it's close right there. Hopefully that windshield trim will fit and slide right over the top of that. They're outside right now replacing the JL windshield, which broke the very first month that we got it, and Hope's just been dealing with a broken JL windshield since then. She wouldn't let me replace it, but I finally was just like, no, we're replacing it. Don't scratch the paint. There we go. Alright, so he sprayed some cleaner around the edges there.
It's a primer. It preps the surface for the urethane,
Okay.
so it has a good surface to bond to.
That's how it's done, Josh.
Yep.
This is what they call a V-bead. It's cut a little notch in there, and they say it gives a better sealing than just a regular round bead.
and then whenever you let loose of that, I think it goes backwards, right? So that it doesn't keep
so it
spewing?
doesn't keep. So when you hit it, it automatically reverses it so it doesn't push it out and ooze out.
That's cool. That's a neat feature.
That's the difference between the China and the door.
Yeah. I've gotten to where when I caulk with the caulk gun, immediately hit that release button right after I'm done caulking. Otherwise it just keeps on spewing out. I laid it over on my side years ago in a V-notch, and it squeezed the frame and twisted it, and then that just popped.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know it was that bad.
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
You think you could get a windshield in there?
Yeah, I'm not sure about this trim.
This one's gone.
And that one's gone.
Well, my battery died out there, but basically he said that the Comanche windshield was replaceable, not the Scorpion. So maybe I'll have that one replaced because we won't have to cut tubes out. And that one is really bad. You can actually lift the windshield out from the bottom, and there's a big gap about that big. Anyway, back to the truck. What I'm going to do here is try and straighten out some of these fins on the condenser, and then paint this black a little bit. It's got some missing paint where you can see the aluminum coming through. Need to get that black before we put the bumper back on. Josh and I were wondering about a comb for radiator fins. Do those actually work? Has anybody ever used one? Because doing it with a knife is kind of a slow process. Are you sure you just don't use a regular comb for your hair?
I don't know, give it a shot.
I don't use combs either. My hair's too short. I've got some VHT engine enamel I'm going to use to spray that. I also don't want to go too far because then I'll start creeping over because everything over there is kind of gray. You guys remember the seats that I reupholstered? Check those out. I think it's time to put them in. See what they look like. That interior is looking snazzy. Look how clean that is. Oh man! No more boogers on the floorboards. So that clock didn't come with this truck, but that was from a SR5 model or some sort of superior model. But this is a superior truck now, and it needs all the fancy bells and whistles. Why are you laying down on the job?
I'm tired.
I guess it's a good thing I didn't put this seat in yet, huh?
Uh-huh.
I always use some sort of tire shine on this stuff to make it nice and shiny. I remember when I was a kid, my friends used to make fun of me because I would use tire shine on the back seat, like the vinyl seat, and on the floorboards because I had vinyl floors that I had put in my Cherokee. And then when they would get in, they would, of course, their feet would slip out from under them. And then when we'd go around corners and stuff, they'd be sliding back and forth on the seat because it was so slippery. But it looks good. Hey Josh, here's those screws you were looking for. I had set them right there so that we would remember where they were.
Well, son of a gun.
Ready for an LED light show? Oh, look at that. Matches the truck. Bluish teal color on the lights. Got the VO switch right here. Just got to figure out how to get that to the control box, the relay box. This thing, I don't know where that goes. We're getting it figured. It's almost quitting time for the day, but I think we're going to try to shove this seat in there real quick. What do you guys think? Should we do it?
I think we do it.
There we go. Oh man, look at that. Let's see if it's comfy. You know what's weird is my dad always says, he has this weird saying where he's like, rich Corinthian leather. And the color of this was Corinthian blue.
It's a sign.
It's meant to be.
Turquoise looks good. I don't mind it.
Yeah, I like it. Sweet. Alright, it's quitting time for the day. Josh sanded this back down. It's not shiny anymore. What are you doing?
You gotta make it dull to make it shiny.
This seems counterproductive to me, but it works really well. Whatever he's doing here, he's sanding that down with the what grit are you using?
2,000, 1,500, depends.
Wet sanding and then drying it off and buffing it.
Scuff and buff.
Scuff and buff, and that's what makes it so shiny. You guys see that? That line in the paint right there? Josh was asking me about that, and I said, I kind of see it, but maybe it's something like a shadow. And then I said, what about this? You got tricked.
It was bugging me.
It was just a shadow from this where we hang parts to be painted, and it was causing what looked like a little line in the paint. Alright, it's looking good. It's looking shiny.
It's shiny.
Are you happy with that?
I'm happy with that.
I'm over here working on the inner fenders again and the fender flares. So we were trying to do things right. We actually had these powder coated with all the other pieces. These are going to be what goes up underneath here. That holds the mud flaps. So the mud flaps, they go like this. So I'm going to get those put on. What you got next?
I don't know.
I know I ordered some caps for these. I don't remember where I put them, but we could find those and get these on, I guess, if you're done with that. Maybe the tail lights.
Let's save these for a while.
Why, we got more dirt to make?
Yeah, I have another level of buffing to do later on.
Another level?
Yes. The polish.
How many levels?
There's 2.
So does that mean I should save this too?
No. No, you can put those on.
These are factory Toyota mud flaps. What are you getting into over there?
Trailer harness.
Oh yeah. Looking spiffy. One of the things that's made today bearable is these Christmas tree fasteners. I bought these on Amazon. I've got even more over there. It's basically let me reinstall all these without having to use the old stuff because it's all completely busted. But having this assortment came in handy because all these holes are different sizes, and then you've got the square ones and you got the round ones. You got big ones and little ones. Kind of a mess, but with that assortment, at least it's possible. Alright, today's drawing to a close. We got all the inner fender stuff done. We got the mud flaps on. We got whatever you want to call that. And Josh is over here spreading some mud. He's going to set this up before he leaves tonight. What are you going to do? Are you going to put it on here? Try to smooth this topper out?
Yep.
So we had this topper sandblasted, and the goal is to try to make that smooth as glass to paint it, huh?
Look like it once did.
Like it once did.
Yep. See how this goes. It's not something I've done before.
Don't mess her up.
So many holes in this.
Morning! It's the next day. It is really coming down today. There's a lot of water. My neighbors have a pond going on over there. So if it starts to rain good, you're not going to be able to hear us in here. But let's get this day started. Let's show you what's going on today. Alright, so Josh has been doing some buffing on the top this morning. Josh, you look really buff today. Behind the seat here, you guys saw this previously, but I got that mounted again. I got the VO switch wire ran, and it's coming out right there. And now it's time to put the grill on. You guys ready for this? This thing is so beautiful. You did a good job on this, Josh.
Thank you.
So it's matte black in here. This is color match to color match all of the metal parts. This thing's been buffed and shined.
Get those clips from the mats.
Alright. Oh man, starting to look like something again. So we got new turn signal lights, but the backs don't have the same wiring harness. So what we're going to do is just take the glass from the new one and move it over to the old one. And at the same time, we're going to replace that seal that goes in here. Check it out, we're putting the bull bar on. This has become one of the hardest parts of this, is because you have to put each piece on in the correct order, otherwise you get blocked by your next bolt. So these KC lights are going to go right there. We've already got the license plate holder in there with our Route 66 license plate. There's a plate that goes here, and then there's a piece that goes on behind that with the little grill. And then underneath there is the skid plate, has to go back there. Josh claims that we'll still be able to get to the bottom of this light. I don't believe you, Josh.
It's like it was made for it.
Yeah, that's not happening. How about this? You think that'll do it? Ha-ha! Oh, look at that. Man, doesn't that look good.
Move over, Marty McFly.
How about a ride, mister?
We're going back to the future! Alright. Alright, after putting that skid plate up there, we are trying to decide whether or not this belongs, this little piece of the bull bar, the bottom piece. So we'll give you an idea of what it looks like with it. It looks like that. And without it, it looks like that. The only way to see that skid plate is to be back here. I'm gonna have to ponder on this. What do you guys think? I guess we could always go back and forth. It's not final. Nothing's final here. Okay, consensus is it's going back in, so it's going back in. Check this out, guys. We had this factory Toyota hook powder coated. We thought it wasn't gonna work with this bumper, but it'll actually still fit up in there. So I'm gonna do that just so it doesn't get lost, even though it won't be really usable. All right, Nerf bars are painted to match. Both Josh and I don't get excited about stuff, but you can tell we're getting excited when we start standing over there just staring at it with our arms crossed.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we show our excitement.
This is the part of the build where everything gets kind of fun. You get to see what all that hard work went into.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Not you guys, though. You don't get to see it yet. All right, in the back here, we've decided we're going to put these KC lights. What's the name of these lights? Check those out. Triangle lights from KC. We're not going to put them there. We're going to put them on the bottom. The problem is both of these holes are the exact same size. The nut will fit through there, but if we were to put a washer in there, it wouldn't fit through this top hole. So we have to come up with a solution. What is your thought?
So you remember how I was telling you about the fuel sump mount, the sump that goes on the bottom of the tank. You drill a hole. You don't even have to draw up the tank. You just drill the hole and put the sump on the bottom of the fuel tank.
Yeah.
Well, you have to have something on the other side of it, on the inside,
Yeah.
to bolt it into. So kind of imagine it like a big C-clip, and you can see the problem here. You can't put a washer through that hole. But if you take and cut a slice out of it, then you can rotate it down in and set it on, and it still works as a washer.
You think that'll work?
I think it'll work.
Okay.
It's worth a shot.
There's no opening in the back, otherwise we could just stick it through somewhere. You haven't found any openings
No,
anywhere, have you?
it's closed off the whole way.
Okay, he's cutting the washer. The real question is, can we get a socket in there? And no, we can't. Josh,
Yeah.
the socket won't go through.
What if we cut a slit in the side of the socket?
What's your solution for getting a socket down through there? I have an idea.
All right.
So this nut is smaller. We can probably get a socket to fit on that nut, right?
Yeah.
This is just welded into that bracket, so we just cut it out and weld this nut into there.
Yeah. That could work.
Unless you got any other suggestions.
No.
We're getting really deep into this now. Like, we're gonna go past the point of no return here.
No, I was wondering if you could maybe bend a 90 onto the end of a open end wrench and fish it down through the hole.
Well, we do have another hole here. You could. Yeah, I don't think that would work. You're getting really in deep there with your thought process. I think this will work. I might have to find a bolt without a shoulder, though. If it hits that shoulder, it won't tighten without more washers. Alright, there she is, guys. Check that out. Looks pretty good. I think that's going to work. We need to put a washer on there first, and then it's going to go up through this hole, and then we're going to have this washer that we have to feed in there. I should probably do that first. Try not to lose it. Okay, I'm going to carefully feed this back up through. I've got a magnet on a stick with the nut on it. Oh no, that won't go through the hole. Okay, I need something different. Let's try this. Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh, it's gone forever. It's a good thing I have a lot of magnets in the shop. Let's try that. Oh, no. Now I'm gonna get that stuck in there. Okay, I got it out. But now the washers are not lined up. There we go. Okay. I have no way of knowing if it's actually turning on there or not. It's not. I just need some tape on that socket. Can you hand me some? Do you guarantee your work?
Nope.
Oh, I feel something. I think it worked.
Or is it cross-threaded?
Oh yeah. Should have just wrote a note on there. BleepinJeep was here. Okay. Check that out. Well, it only took an hour, but we got that to work. Check that out. It's pretty cool. One of the things I didn't think about until afterwards is, can you get the hitch pin in there? And yes, you can. So that looks pretty good, I think. It's going to be nice and bright when he goes to back up. I did need to find out what the name of those lights were, though. So those are the KC Flex Era 3 2-light system, 40-watt combo beam. They're not cheap either. They're about, where did I see it? $450 for the pair. You can get an amber shield for them as well, which would be cool to have on your front lights. That's really great for running at night or in the fog as well. But it looks like there's two different types of beam patterns. One spreads the light, one's more focused. But we'll turn these on whenever we get them wired up in the next few days and show you how those look. But until then, I'm going to take a break for tonight. We'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. Check this out, guys. This, do you remember how packed full of stuff this pallet was? This is all the stuff that was going on the truck, and what we've got left is slim pickings. We've got the KC lights. We need to change the oil. Look at those raceline wheels. We've got the lug nuts. We've got some hardware for the bed slide. We've got the shocks, and we've got, check this out, horn blasters. That's gonna be cool. But today I think we ought to put on the Bilstein shocks. We wouldn't go but anything but the best for this Toyota. So we've got Bilstein front and rear, and we're going to put those on. That way we will have some suspension to go on this truck.
What kind of shocks do you have?
Bilstein?
I've never heard of those.
Have you heard of Bilsteins?
I have heard of those. Those are great shocks.
This is the brother company of Bilsteins. These are the Bilsteins. Bilstein. Even though this is a Japanese truck and these shocks are made in Germany, I think Toyota will forgive us. Look how pretty those are. Gonna go nice. Look how short and tiny that little front shock is. Why did the shock absorber break up with the spring? It couldn't handle the ups and downs of the relationship.
You know, that's shockingly funny.
Wasn't talking to you, Josh. You got more? Looks like you got more over there.
I'm trying to think of something.
Alright, I'll wait. We'll wait over here. Okay, you're up.
I may be able to come up with a good shock joke. And the suspense is probably killing you, but I'm under way too much pressure.
Alright, you got me on that one. That was a good one.
Well, now I'm all charged up. Don't dampen my enthusiasm.
That looks really good. I'm going to put some anti-corrosion onto that just to keep it lasting longer and rust-free. And we're good to go.
You put that on the wrong side.
No, I didn't. You had me worried there for a split second. Okay, we're going to do a scientific test right here. Very scientific. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, that's the no shock side. Here's the shock side. Oh man, look at that. That's only one. And we're going to have 5. No, wait, 4. Alright, look at these rear shocks. Those are pretty cool, huh? Do you think we should paint these blue to color match the truck?
I was wondering if you were going to have them powder coated.
These bushings are kind of interesting. They're not hard to put in because they're just tapered. Then when you squeeze on that, it just kind of makes everything tight. Before. And then the other bushing. There we go. There we go. Got it. And after. I think that's the booziest shocks this truck has ever had. It's really a shame that you can't see him from the outside.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
Well, how's this coming along?
Yeah, very slowly.
It looks like you're doing paper mache.
I didn't think that this was gonna throwing water myself. If this was gonna be the long part, I'm changing up my strategy here.
What, are you going thinner? It looks like you're going thinner.
Going thinner. Thinking I might have. Well, I can make it each round go farther, but I might have less waste overall this way, because that most of it's just gonna go up into the air and into our lungs, out the door.
This stuff stinks. I don't know if you guys have ever smelt Bondo, but the other night I was trying to sleep and it was just in my nose. I could smell it. Even after I had a shower, I could just still smell it like it was right there in front of my face.
And it wasn't even sanded yet. That was just for me putting some on.
Yeah. We could just leave it textured like that and it would be like the stucco, like basically a stucco camper shell.
Paint some cool designs on it.
Okay, slim pickings again. I say we take a look at this horn blasters and see what's in that box. Oh, it's a box in a box. La cucaracha horn. Gonna be awesome. Oh man, look at that. That's the stuff right there. That's how you play cucaracha. You gotta have 5 horns. Yeah, it's 5 horns. Hearing protection required. Don't blow your temper, blow your horn. So I thought this train horn was gonna be simple, but there's no mounting brackets. So each horn, there's 5 of these horns, and then there's a compressor, and we have to mount it ourselves. So my thought was just to put it underneath the truck bed near the gas tank somewhere, but that means we have to figure out how to mount 5 of these together. I guess you could save space by going this way. I don't know, it's going to be a lot longer putting this together than I expected. And then this has to be vertical, so you could install this here. My thought is to install it as close as possible together.
Yeah.
We could even install it right here in the middle and have the hoses come up through. Like this. Got it. Oh yeah. Check that out. Oh yeah. We should just cut 5 holes in the hood and we'll just have this sticking up out of the center of the hood like that.
Oh, I can't do the next one.
Okay, are you guys ready to hear this awesomeness? This is going to be great. Try reversing it. If this doesn't work, this is the cheapest thing ever. There we go. Okay.
It's labeled wrong.
It is labeled wrong.
It's getting hot.
It's smoking. It works. Alright, my dad wanted a cucaracha horn. He gets a cucaracha horn. Now we gotta mount this under there somewhere.
I love that you're sandwiched in between two gas tanks right there too.
Great place to be welding. I melted myself right there.
Oh, that hurts.
You weren't happy with just me being burned? You're gonna try to burn yourself too?
It wouldn't move. It needs to move. It's roundish.
And this is what we call breakover angle. Josh! Hey!
That was such a late response.
Right, left.
And go.
I said left. Can you not read, Private?
Get it out of your face.
I said left. Can you not read?
You're a dork. Do it again? Okay.
You snooze, you lose. It's time to wheel, Private.
Winch in, winch out, winch in, winch out.
Winch in, winch out, winch in, winch out.
Okay, like actually do it though. You're barely whisper yelling.
Neighbors are over there.
So?